Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today, this video is going to show you how to sketch graphs of polynomial functions in linear vector form. First, we need to determine what is the highest power of the function, which is either an even number or an odd number. Next, we need to determine what is the sign of the highest power of the function, which is either an positive or negative. Now we look at this table. If the highest power of the function is an even number and it is positive, then basically the shape of the curve is an U shape. And if it is negative, means basically the shape of the curve is an N shape. If the highest power of the function is an odd number and it is positive, then basically the shape of the curve is an S shape going up from left to right. And if it is negative, means basically the shape of the curve is an S shape going down from left to right. However, the shape of the curve at the dotted line here will change, depends on the power of each of the factor in the function. Let's see if the function f of x is a polynomial function in linear vector form. Then if the power of the factor x minus a is 1, then this means that the graph will just go through this point. If the power of the factor x minus b is an even number, then this means that b is a turning point. If the power of the factor x minus c is an odd number, then means this point C is an inflection point. Now let's look at this example. If we want to sketch the graph of the polynomial function f of x equals x multiply x plus 2 power 3 multiply 3 minus x power 2, first we need to determine the highest power of the function. In order to determine the highest power, we just need to multiply the x in each of the factor. So from here we can see that x times x power 3 times x power 2 is x power 6. And as for the sign, so the first x is positive, the second x is positive, the third x, even though it is negative, but because of here that is the power of 2, so negative and negative becomes positive. So means x power 6 is a positive. So next we need to determine the value of x at x-axis. Now at x-axis we know that y is equal to 0. So x multiply x plus 2 power 3 multiply 3 minus x power 2 is equal to 0. So from here the first x is 0, second x is negative 2, and the third value of x is positive 3. Now we can label the x-axis. And we start from 0, negative 2, and 3. Then when we look at the highest power, it is x power 6. That is an even number, so means basically the shape of the curve is a U shape. So means we can start to draw the curve here. So when we start draw the curve here, and when we come to the first point, -2, and when we look at the equation, we find that the factor x plus 2, the power is power 3, means this point -2 is an inflection point. So means we need to draw an inflection point at this -2. Then when we come to x equals 0, from the equation, the factor x is power 1. So means the curve will just go through at this x equals 0. Then when we come to x equals 3, and when we look at the equation, the factor 3 minus x is power 2. So means the x equals 3 is a turning point. So when we draw a turning point here, then finally we will get the graph of this polynomial function. Let's go to the second example. Let's sketch this polynomial function f of x equals x to x power 2 minus 5. First, we need to make sure all the factors are in linear factor. So here, this is quadratic factor. So it means we need to factorize this quadratic factor, becomes the linear factor. So when we factorize, this is square root of 2x plus square root of 5 multiply square root of 2x plus square root of 5. Next, we need to find out the highest power of the function. So we just multiply the x, each x from each factor. So we find that it is positive x power 3. Next, we need to find the value of x at x-axis. So at x-axis, y is equal to 0. So x multiply square root of 2x plus square root of 5 multiply square root of 2 x minus square root of 5 is equal to 0. From the first factor, x is equal to 0. From the second factor, square root of 2x plus square root of 5 equals to 0. So now we need to simplify in order to find the value of x. So x is equal to negative square root of 5 divided by square root of 2. And here we can combine, becomes negative square root of 5 over 2. So from the third factor, so by using the same method, so we will find that x is positive square root of 5 over 2. Now we can label the x-axis with the values of x. We start from 0, then negative square root of 5 over 2, positive square root of 5 over 2. Then when we look at the highest power, it is positive x power 3, means basically the shape of the curve is extending as moving upwards from left to right. So it means we can start the graph here. So we start sketching the graph from here. Then when we look at the factors, we find that all the factors, the power, they are 1 power 1. So means the graph will just go through each point here. So now the graph goes through negative 5 square root 5 over 2 and goes through 0 and also goes through square root of 5/2. So this is the curve. So now we go to third example. Now we want to sketch the graph of the polynomial function f of x equals x minus 2 power 2 multiply 2 minus 5x power 2. So first we determine the highest power of the function. So which is first factor is x power 2, second factor is negative x power 2. So it is x power 4 and positive, even though the second factor, the x is negative, but because of the power 2, so negative becomes positive. So finally that is a positive x power 4. Now next we need to find the value of x at x-axis. So at x-axis y equals 0. So means x minus 2 power 2 multiply 2 minus 5x power 2 is equal to 0. Now from the first factor, x minus 2 equals 0, so we will get x is 2. And the second factor, 2 minus 5x, and we will get x is 2/5. Now we label the x-axis with the value of x. So we start from 2/5, then 2. Now from the highest power, we found that is positive power of 4. So means generally the basic shape of the curve is an U shape. So we can start the sketching from here. So we start the sketching from here. Now when come to the first point, when we look at the factor, that is power 2. So means this point is a turning point. And also at 2, from the factor, the power is 2. So also means this point is also a turning point. So means we continue the sketching, and at this point we turn because it is a turning point. Then since this is also a turning point, so the graph we need to turn it up. So finally that is the graph of this function. Now we go to next example. We want to sketch this curve of polynomial function f of x equals x plus 3 power 2 multiply 5 minus x. First, we determine the highest power of the function. So from here, x, first factor is x power 2, second factor is negative x. So means the total highest power of the function is negative x power 3. So now we need to determine the value of x at x-axis. So at x-axis y is equal to 0. So means x plus 3 power 2 multiply 5 minus x is equal to 0. Then from the first factor, x plus 3 equals 0, then we will get x is negative 3. Then from the second factor, 5 minus x equals 0, then x is equal to 5. Now we can label the x-axis now. So the first value is negative 3 followed by 5. So from the highest power, which is negative x power 3, so means generally the shape of the curve is standing S and going down from left to right. So means we can start sketching the curve here. So we start sketching the curve from here. Then when we come to the first point, which is -3, since -3 is from the factor x plus 3 and it is power 2, means -3 is a turning point. So we make a turning point at x equals -3. Next, we go to x equals 5. When we look at the factor 5 minus x, that is power 1, means the curve will just go through the point x equals 5. So finally, we will get the shape of this polynomial function. Now we go to next example. F of x equals x minus 4 multiply 2x minus 3 power 2. So first, we try to find the highest power of the polynomial function. For the first factor, it is x. Second factor, it is x power 2. So the total power is positive x power 3. And next, we need to find the value of x at x-axis. So at x-axis, y is equal to 0. So x minus 4 multiply 2x minus 3 power 2 is equal to 0. Now from the first factor, x minus 4 is equal to 0, means x is equal to 4. Then from the second factor, 2x minus 3 equals 0, means x is 3 over 2. Now we can label the x-axis. So we start from 3 over 2. The second point is 4. Since from the highest power, you can see that that is a positive x power 3, means basically the shape of this curve is an S shape, which is going up from left to right. So it means we start sketching the curve from here. So we start the curve from here going up. Okay, when we come to the first point, which is 3 over 2, and the factor for the point 3 over 2 is power 2, means 3 over 2 is a turning point. So we continue, come to here and turn down. Next, when we come to x equals 4, since the factor is power 1, so means the curve just goes through at 4. So it means we continue the curve here and goes through the 4 and going up. Then here, that is the curve for this polynomial function. Next, we look at this example. The polynomial function of f of x equals 3x plus 4 multiply x plus 1 power 3. So first, we try to determine the highest power of the polynomial function. From the first factor, it is x. Second factor, it is x power 3, means the highest power of the function is positive x power 4. Now we try to find the value of x at x-axis. So at x-axis, y is equal to 0, and 3x plus 4 multiply x plus 1 power 3 is equal to 0. Now from the first factor, 3x plus 4, it is equal to 0, means x is negative 4 over 3. And the second factor, x plus 1 equals 0, means x is negative 1. So now we can start label the x-axis. So the value on the left is -4/3 followed by -1. Now from the highest power, it is positive x power 4, means basically the shape is a U shape here, and we can start the curve from here. So means we start sketching the curve from this area. So when I go down to the first point, since the first point -4/3, it is power 1, so means the curve just goes through this point. Then when we come to the second point, -1, since the power is power 3, so means this point is an inflection point. So continue sketching from here. We continue the curve. Then since it is an inflection point, so at this -1, so we continue sketching that, then go up. So finally we will get the shape of this polynomial function. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe my channel for more videos in future.